Hey, I'm Kev here. Let's go on some more coverage in Season 5 of Formula Xbox. And round 4 of the season took place at a rainy Shanghai International Circuit in China. As in our Ferrari Open did a much better job than we did in Bahrain, where we were not hitting any apexes, we were struggling with an understeer setup. We just felt we didn't push hard enough to be fast around there, where we pushed much harder round this track, round this race, and their setup was pretty fine. You know, maybe could have had a bit more wing in these wet qualifying, but for the race it was nice. And also we hit a couple of apexes. There was this sweet one, I think on lap 6 in the race at the hairpin, just really clipped it. But as you can see, pushing hard for this wet qualifying, not the best thing to do. Just need to be silky smooth, and we haven't really driven in these conditions, haven't really driven around this track in the game, and so yeah, that wasn't a good combination at all. And so we didn't put a lap together, and if we did put a lap together, we'd been right there with the midfield pack. So it was a bit frustrating, but qualifying so close, especially in these conditions, really impressive to see. And so yeah, this track was one that I did better at in F1 2012 and F1 2013, just like Bahrain, but it seems like some pace actually translated to this track and in this game, as it was a track where I could kind of depend on getting the good results, as I had a bit of pace around the track in those games. And so it's a track I don't really like in real life, and I always call it the younger, worse cousin of Malaysia, of the Sepang International Circuit. Almost said Sepang, which makes no sense at all. But yeah, the Sepang International Circuit and this circuit seem to have sections that mirror each other, of course both done by Helm and Tilke, and so yeah, it's just not as good as racetrack. It doesn't flow as well, I believe, as the Malaysia track, which I find a bit more enjoyable to drive. But the racing's actually kind of a bit better around this track than in Malaysia, and that's particularly true in real life in F1 as well, as we've seen a couple quite good races around this track in recent years compared to Malaysia, where not much has happened apart from, say, team orders. And so yeah, it's a track that I do quite enjoy to actually watch racing on, even though I don't like racing on it. And so that wasn't our qualifying lap, a bit dreadful as you saw, but well done to GFX Massa on pole in the Force India. Nice to see a different name up there ahead of Random Beats on his return to Formula Xbox in the Lotus in second, Mr. Joker's third, RSM only in fourth, and Sir Lane rounding out the top 5. Good job for my Ferrari teammates. We wait for the 5 lights to appear and go out for 14 laps round China. Look at this, behind CK ahead of Zinka, and look at this, CK going to the outside, so we were following him through this first corner, as we were bound to get some guys in our inside. Look at that Red Bull so close to us. Oh, he's teleporting. Drasimidget's he's got the teleporting hacks on. Our Overlord's going crazy with power, as we got Sam going round our outside and Marusha. Nice job from him. And oh, get the brakes on, as I don't know what the hell happened there to Drasimidget. Obviously something did happen, as he's fallen back and he's just behind us, and he's trying to make a move around Sam into that right-hander. But yeah, I have no idea what happened there. Major lag. And look at that, GFX Massa, pole sitter. It's just not good being a pole sitter, especially on the first lap in this season, as he's dropped back. And looking from Silent Mole's footage, it looks like that Random Beats was on his inside. Unfortunately, sidepod glitch happened, and so unfortunately the Force India driver is now at the back of the field as we make a legitimate past Drastic Midget there. And look at this, I smashed my front wing up on the back of Sam and nothing happened. And so I was starting to think that maybe I'm starting to lag a bit, actually. Maybe it's not just Midget going all over the place, maybe it's me as well. But Midget appeared at the end of this lap, I believe, and he went on to the tyres that he would carry on until the end of the race, or did he? As GFX Mazda is behind us now, as we've got Sam in front of us. Nice cushion here, but look at this, being a bit daring on the brakes, as Sam's got to check up, of course, to I believe that is CK in front of him in the Williams, as now we've got the Force India behind us. But going to the last corner, one of the few times in this race we actually did it well and got a bit of a gap on GFXX Massa. And so going into the first corner, Random Beats does fast out the race, And look at this, we're going wide. Do not take this line. Do not cut the grass on either side of that first corner. Does not work out well as we're out of shape. And into the left-hander. Massa goes down our inside. Nice job from James there. And so we're back down to 13th. Unlucky for us as onto that 4 round. The Beach gets another fastest lap. He really is enjoying his return to Formula X. Was a very good driver by the end of his first day in Formula X. So good to see him back in the league, at least as a guest in this race. And as you can see, once again we're doing that line. Maybe I've got to take that line every time he does a fastest lap. I didn't see it in the contract, you know, when I signed up for this race, but I'm guessing it's in it, because otherwise why am I taking that line? As it goes to the end of the first sector here now, and into the right hand, and looks like going a bit wide here, and whoa, something's happening in front. It got a bit of smoke going on, and looks like Sam has dropped back in front of us. Got a nice gap on Justin Midge, I said, who pitted at the end of that first lap. And it looks like we're about behind the Mauritius driver. Maybe going to lock horns once again this season. Really enjoyed it in Malaysia. As going into the double left-hander. Oh, we've got a bit of the tunnel vision going on. Got our target locked. A bit too locked there as we both went wide through that left-hander as we go into the last corner onto lap 6 now. And looks like a couple of pit stops are happening. GFX Massa, no surprise. They're trying to get the undercut going as he's way down the field. They're way out of position. Got Silent Mole pitting as well. And Pro Racing 69, who hasn't had the best season in the Tour, so despite showing some impressive pace, well, hopefully he's doing well in this race. He's trying to get some undercut action going on as well. As we're up to 9th place behind Sam. We're going to pit at the end of this lap as well, so maybe we could be getting past Sam as we are in striking distance. As I said, the target is locked, and oh, we've taken the side mold line there. Do apologise for that into the left-hander, but a great run through the right-hander, nice and smooth. Really controlling the back end here, and Sam got a bit of the back end going in the middle of that corner there, but we're getting out to Rich Mix, we're getting our slipstream on, we're getting our DRS on, and let's engage as we go past Sam here. Marussia versus Fry. Sam versus careful about the 5 millionth time in the league race, and look at that, as I said, clipping the apex, pretty sweet, eh? And now we're getting out of the corner and we're up to 8th position ahead of Sam. Get it down to Lee Mixer. As I said, we are pitting, and oh, we almost did a Hamilton going into the gravel there, going a bit wide, but we managed to hold on ahead of the Mauritius. My pit crew did a good job here getting me out ahead of Sam, and so we're sticking in 11th spot here ahead of Sam. But on lap 9 we've got Case Ledger in front of us, increasing that gap ahead of us in the Mercedes. Why are we taking this line again? It didn't work the previous 2 times. You would have thought we have learnt by now, but obviously that's my alternate line this race. As again, the back end getting a bit out of shape, getting the power down out of that second corner. Always does that, as Sam is right behind us now, and Drastic Midget as well on his strategy. As you can see, Casey Jones in a bit of a zone in front of us, and unfortunately Sam has been abducted by aliens. That seems to be a common occurrence this season, unfortunately, just as he was about to shape up for a battle, which Drastic Midget seems to have engaged in. As we're going on to lap 10, he's got the DRS on, got a great run out of that last corner, and he's lagging a bit, so we kind of let him through here, but he's gone a bit wide. So into the right-hander. Going to try and stay ahead of him here, as into the left-hander. We've got to give him room though, and yeah, he just lags into us. I don't believe he actually hit us. I think that was just lag there. And so he's ahead of us. We're back down to last place in 12th, and this is me after saying the car handled fine, and I thought I did a bit better around here. Actually hit some apexes, not that one, but yeah, as I said, mitigating circumstances here. There's a bit of lag happening around me, unfortunately. Done the worst race for lag so far this season, and look at that. You don't expect a Red Bull to stop in the middle of the fast left and right corners in the middle of that, but unfortunately it did. I was kind of a bit too focused on the corner there as well, just focusing, but unfortunately, you know, the Red Bull, the lag stopped in the middle there. And look at that, Pro Racing 69 is Toroso. I believe he had traction issues, and once again his race just did not go as planned. I think the Toroso was trying to actually go home, so it went right, heading towards Italy. Unfortunately there was a barrier in the way, and so into the hairpin, going into the tight right, we outbrake ourselves. Drastic Midget outbrakes himself. So was that a lag hit? I have no idea. I hope it wasn't a lag hit there, but I do apologise for that if it was. But as you can see, I was nowhere near him on my screen. Well, almost near him, was almost alongside, but we're up into the points, or a point in 10th place ahead of Drastic Midget. Well, we're guaranteed a point now, unfortunately, as aliens have once again claimed a victim in drastic midget who's been abducted, and as Swifty left the area as we go up to Rich Mix. Have a bit of fun in these last few laps as we did catch Casey Legend, but of course he was kind of in his zone of himself, he couldn't quite catch the battle in front, and of course I couldn't quite catch him as well. Ran out of laps by about 50, and so well done to Mr. Jokers for winning the race. And maybe Random Beats was up there. I didn't hear much of him in the second half of the race, but he was doing faster laps for fun in that first half of the race. As we crossed the line in 10th place and have a victory crash-ish as we continued our point scoring streak. As Mr. Jokers got the win ahead of us, and had got Random Beats on the podium on his return. Great job from him. Ahead of the Silent Mole, and CK ran out of top 5 with James back up to 7th in the end. So now for watching, and I'll see you in Spain. Get away from us, aliens.